though it is only a small shipping village. It was the largest place that we could find where we could be away from Governor Dunmore and speak freely as 120 delegates of the colony of Virginia. We crammed into that tiny church, and it was cold outside, but it was stifling hot inside. As a matter of fact, we had the windows and the doors open, but it was still hot because no air was circulating. The windows and the doors and the aisleways were plugged with people, spectators from that village of Richmond, who had come to see what their delegates were going to do. And I issued the resolutions which would call, as I mentioned, for us to be at a ready state of defense, and that a militia be formed, not of redcoats, but of colonists, born and raised in the colony of Virginia, farmers, regular ordinary men, who would take up their guns, who had previously only shot at game to feed their families. Now they were going to be asked to defend their colony. I addressed Mr. Peyton Randolph. Mr. President, no man thinks more highly than I do of the patriotism as well as the abilities of the very worthy gentlemen that have just addressed this House. But different men often see the same subject in different light, and therefore I hope it will not be thought of as disrespectful to these gentlemen if, entertaining as I do opinions of a character very opposite to theirs, I shall speak forth my sentiments freely and without reserve. This is no time for ceremony. The question before this House is one of awful moment to this country. For my own part, I consider it as nothing less than a question of freedom or slavery. And in proportion to the magnitude of the subject ought be the freedom of the debate. It is only in this way we can hope to arrive at the truth and fulfill the great responsibility which we hold to God and our country. Should I keep back my opinions at such a time for fear of giving offense, I should consider myself as guilty of treason towards my country and of an act of disloyalty toward the majesty of heaven, which I revere above all earthly kings. Now, Mr. President, it is natural for man to indulge the illusion of hope. We are apt to shut our eyes to painful truths and listen to the song of the siren until she transforms us into beasts. But is this the part of wise men, engaged in a great and arduous struggle for liberty? Are we disposed to be among the number of those who, having eyes, see not, or having ears, hear not the things which so nearly concern our temporal salvation? For my own part, whatever anguish of spirit it may cost, I am willing to know the whole truth. I am willing to know the worst and to provide for it. I have but one lamp by which my feet are guided, and that is the lamp of experience. I know of no other way of judging the future but by the past. And judging by the past, I wish to know what there has been in the conduct of the British ministry for these last 10 years, which justifies the hopes with which these gentlemen have been pleased to solace themselves and this House. Is it that insidious smile with which our petition has been lately received? Trust it not, sir. It shall prove to be a snare to your feet. Suffer not yourselves to be betrayed by a kiss. Ask yourselves how this gracious reception of our petition comports with the warlike preparations which cover our waters and darken our land. Tell me, are fleets and armies necessary to a work of love and reconciliation? Tell me, have we shown ourselves so unwilling to be reconciled that force must be called in to win back our love? Let us not deceive ourselves. These are implements of war and subjugation, the last arguments to which a king resorts. Now I ask, gentlemen, sir, What means this martial array, if its purpose be not to force us into submission? Can gentlemen assign any other possible motive for it? Has Great Britain any enemy in this corner of the world to call for all this accumulation of navies and armies? No, sir. She has none. They are meant for us. They can be meant for no other. They are sent over to bind and to rivet upon us those chains which the British ministry have been for so long forging. And what have we to oppose them? Shall we try argument? Sir, we have been trying that for the last 10 years. Have we anything new to offer on that subject? Nothing. We have held this subject up in every light of which it is capable. But it has been all in vain. Shall we resort to entreaty or humble supplication? What terms shall we find which have not been already exhausted? Let us not, I beseech you, sir, let us not deceive ourselves any longer. We have done everything that could be done to avert this storm which is now coming on. We have petitioned. We have remonstrated. We have supplicated. We have prostrated ourselves before the throne and implored its interposition to arrest the tyrannical hands of the ministry and parliament. Our petitions have been slighted. Our remonstrances have produced additional violence and insult. Our supplications have been disregarded. We have been spurned with contempt from the foot of the throne. In vain after these things may we indulge the fond hope of peace and reconciliation. There is no longer any room for hope. If we wish to be free, if we mean to preserve unviolated these inestimable privileges for which we have been so long contending, if we mean not basely to abandon the noble struggle in which we have been for so long engaged, and which we have pledged ourselves never to abandon until the glorious object of our contest has been obtained, then we must fight. I repeat that, we must fight. An appeal to arms and to the God of hosts is all that is left us. They tell us that we are weak, unable to cope with so formidable an adversary. But when shall we be stronger? Will it be next week? Will it be next month? Will it be next year? Will it be when we are totally disarmed and a British guard is stationed at every house? Shall we gather strength by irresolution and inaction? Shall we acquire the means of effectual resistance by lying supinely on our backs while hugging that delusive phantom of hope until our enemies shall have bound us hand and foot? Sir, we are not weak if we make proper use of the means which the God of nature hath placed in our powers. 3 millions of men, armed in the holy cause of liberty, and in such a nation as that which we possess. These men are invincible against any force the enemy shall send against us. Besides, sir, we shall not fight our battles alone. There is a just God who presides over the destinies of the nations, and he will raise up friends to fight our battles for us. The battle, sir, is not to the strong alone. It is to the vigilant, the active, the brave. Besides, if we were base enough to desire it, it is now too late to retire from this contest. There is no retreat, but in submission and slavery. Our chains are already forged. Their clanking can be heard on the plains of Boston. The war is inevitable. Let it come. I repeat that. Let it come. It is in vain to extenuate the matter. Gentlemen may cry, peace, peace, but there is no peace. The The next gale that sweeps from the north will bring with it the clash of resounding arms. Our brethren are already in the field. Why stand we here idle? What is it that gentlemen wish? What would they have? Is life so dear? Is peace so sweet as to be purchased at the price of chains and slavery? Forbid it, Almighty God! For I know not what course others may take. But as for me, give me liberty, or give me death.